Baylor Sports Media Network.
Welcome back inside Biggio's at the Marriott Marquis in downtown Houston. Welcome back on our Texas Bowl preview show presented by Rhoades Barbecue. Rhoades is a proud sponsor of Baylor Athletics. Be sure to stop by your local Rhoades or Rhoades.com for some real Texas barbecue. Our Baylor Coaches Show from Rhoades resumes on January 16th. Continuing with J.J. Joe and Bryce Hager, and a great crowd here at the Marriott Marquis. The game is less than 2 full days away. We'll ask Coach Aranda this when we get him here, but guys, the preparation, what's it like? The last game of the year was November 30th. It has been a break, will be a month and a day, since they played a game. Right. What's that like, ending the regular season and then getting back up and going again?
Yeah, I'm not sure how it was for Bryce and those guys, but I know when we got done, we usually got off like maybe a week, and we would have a week off, and really that time was really a lot of lifting and stuff like that. But then you ramp back up as they let you kind of get to finals and get through that. And we had about really 2 good weeks of practice, a lot of scrimmaging by the young guys, but really good 2 weeks. And then really when you get to this week, it's almost like the last 2 or 3 practices that they're doing now, it's just kind of like troubleshooting. It's just saying like walkthrough, but. Really, the work they've done, they probably did most of that work, Bryce, I don't know about you guys, before they left campus.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, definitely. Once you get here, that work should have already been done.
Yeah.
And so once you get off, once school's out and you're kind of done with finals and all that, that's when you kind of ramp up practice again, and you really got to get back to the fundamentals. Defense, tackle, offense, protect the ball. Make sure those don't go away for that first week or so. And like you said, young guys get more scrimmage time, which is great to see kind of going into the next year, what kind of guys you got. And so that was kind of my experience as well. And so as long as they get here and they're comfortable with the practices they had, because, it's already done. So You're here now. They better be ready.
How many wrinkles, how many new things do you put in for a bowl game? Or is it just getting back to, where you were when the regular season ended?
I think that's up to the coach. You can put as much as you want because they can.
Right.
You can think, let's look at the last 6 games, kind of see where they went. But I've been on teams where coaches go back to the prior year, the first couple games, and there'll probably be 15 wrinkle plays on the offense side of the ball just to keep them on their toes, make sure the defense is in check. And so, if I was a coach, I'd definitely add some spice to that.
Yeah, I don't think most people remember because, we're a little older. But
yes, we are.
Coach Reedy was really good about just coming up with crap, I call him. People don't remember, like, the last bowl game we played, that I played in, and then Taft was the coach. I didn't throw 2. I think I threw 1 touchdown pass. The other one was thrown out of running back.
Oh, that's right. It was, wasn't it? Yeah.
So it was we hadn't run that play all year, but Brandell played baseball and he played some quarterback when he was in junior high. So he would work on throwing the ball, and we just did a regular toss sweep, and he did a great job. But what they didn't notice is Brandell always took off his glove before he was going to throw.
Yeah.
So instead of 2 gloves, he had 1.
Yeah.
And he threw a great strike to Melvin on the deep ball. That wasn't me, but that was just one of the. So Coach Reedy always put in junk, but he always had it already in.
Yeah.
We just had to work on it.
Who in this room remembers the 1992 John Hancock Bowl? Baylor over. All right, thank you.
There we go.
Thank
Couple.
you.
There we go.
All right, a few. Others are saying, "What are you talking about?" John Hancock Bowl. Well, JJ was the quarterback. 2 touchdown passes caught by Melvin Bonner. 1 thrown by JJ. 1 by Brandell Jackson. So that was a big win because, again, going back to that Desert Swarm. Arizona, they just didn't seem like they respected you guys or the Southwest Conference at all.
No, I remember we were at we used to go to a bullfight, and then you kind of went to this place where I forgot what it was, but anyway, we were there, and I thought we were going to fight there. And I'm not a fighter. I'm like, dudes, I'm not fighting with y'all, right? But I thought we were going to fight there because, they were like the Southwest Conference then, that's what we were in, was really looked down upon. And because Arkansas was already gone, so that was really a great week, and it was really great to win. Golly, I couldn't tell you how great that felt. But and it wasn't just about Taft; it was just about beating those guys. To be honest with you, but it was a great week.
Very cool. All right, good bowl memories there. We got plenty more to talk about. Dave Aranda will join us top of the hour. Mack Rhoades will be here. Welcome our friends from Louisiana here, right?
Hey.
WAFB, I know that. Glad you're here. let's kill him with kindness, okay?
That's
our
right.
guy from the opposite side. But it is Baylor and LSU coming up on Tuesday. More of our Texas Bowl preview show live from the Marriott Marquis in downtown Houston right after this.
Y'all listen up. Let me tell you something about group meals from Rhoades Barbecue. It's got all you need for all the folks you gotta feed. Smoked meat, sides, and more. There's everything down to the tablecloth, just like the one that you see at the store. At a bridal shower, it's better than flowers. And a long business meeting, it'll pass the hours. It'll feed all the cousins at a family function. It's better than potluck at a church luncheon. Next time you need to feed 10 or more, call an order of Rhoades Group Meal.
Premier ER and Urgent Care has all the convenience of urgent care with all the expertise of an ER, all under one roof. At every visit, be seen by ER-trained staff with on-site lab and CT, X-ray, ultrasound, and EKG. Here, you pay for the appropriate level of care that you receive, and we are in network with most major insurance providers. Premier ER and Urgent Care has 4 convenient locations serving Texas: San Marcos, Temple, Waco, and Woodway. To learn more, visit www.premier.care.
Score big savings during truck season at Jim Turner Chevrolet in McGregor. Right now, get discounts on our lineup of powerful Chevy Silverados. Save on SUVs too, like the reliable Chevy Suburban or the stylish Tahoe and the Chevy Blazer EV. Hurry! The first 100 to take a test drive this month will receive a 6-pack of Dr. Pepper and a chance to win a year's supply free. Ask for details.
Hi, I'm Jim Turner. Enjoy the game. Then come see us at Jim Turner Chevrolet in McGregor. Together, let's drive.
This season, beat the holiday rush and shop at Astound.com for bigger deals, bigger savings, and bigger internet. For a limited time, get Astound Internet for only $20 a month for 2 years. Plus, add 5G unlimited Astound Mobile free for 12 months. Our award-winning fiber-powered internet can handle it all. Faster streaming, better gaming, and secure online shopping. Lock in bigger savings than ever before at Astound.com. Restrictions apply. See Astound.com for details.
You're listening to Baylor football on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Welcome back on the 2024 Texas Bowl Preview Show. We're live in Houston. One of tonight's presenting sponsors is Antone's famous po' boys. Come to Houston, you're going to find Antone's pretty easily. Deep in the heart of Texans since 1962, Baylor Bears can grab one at any game inside McLean Stadium and Foster Pavilion or at H-E-B stores across Texas. Baylor fans, make sure to stop by either Houston location in the Greater Heights or Galleria area to pregame for the Bears' upcoming big game against LSU. That is Antone's famous po' boys. And continuing with Bryce Hager and JJ Joe, next segment is our Performance of the Year. I want to ask you guys about that. It's presented by TD Industries, the largest facility service company in the Southwest, providing facilities management, HVAC, plumbing, electrical, and building control services and construction since 1946. That is TD Industries. And Bryce, let me start with you. If I say Performance of the Year, and that's kind of open-ended. Could be a player, could be a game, could be a play. What stands out to you?
So for me, it would be playing those first 6 games and then being able to go into that bye week and able to have those 6 games to look back on, self-scout on. And so the importance of going into that next game against Texas Tech really was the defining moment of our season. And the fact that we were able to come out as an offense and be able to put up 59 points against Texas Tech when they was 59-35 that game, that really kind of gave us that momentum that shot us towards the rest of the season in those last 6 games. I mean, the offense was on point, and a lot of these times you get stuck with college football is you got to start fast, but not just starting fast. You got to play all 4 quarters. You can have 21 points in 1 quarter and then go 3 quarters with no points and end up losing by 35 points. So it's important to stay every quarter as it's each quarter, but being able to build those up the whole game. And I think that kind of was the turning point of our season, was going to the bye week, coming out prepared, self-scouting the way the coaches did it, offense responded, the team played complementary football, and being able to beat Tech, and that kind of catapulted our season.
I think that's a great pick. The Tech game coming off that open date, big win in Lubbock, tough place to play. Tech was undefeated in conference play. Remember when we went out
it was
there?
Also, in Lubbock as well.
In
so
Lubbock,
you're going
right,
to play
right.
In a hostile environment.
Right. So that's a really good pick as far as performance of the year. JJ, what would you say?
Yeah, and we were talking about that, and I definitely think I would have to agree with Bryce, but to me, I always go back to finding people. And while I know the Air Force win, everybody beat Air Force. To me, I think that game when they found Sawyer, we beat them 31-3. Wasn't anything spectacular, but I think in that game it solidified that I believe that Sawyer was a quarterback. I think once you found that piece, he actually played really well, even though we didn't immediately start winning until the Tech game. But I would have to agree with Bryce overall that Tech game coming out of the bye. I mean, I remember, and I think I said this in an article. I said, hey, when we were flying to Iowa State, I remember I said, talking to you and Ricky, I said, dude, he needs to win today.
Right.
And I said, if we don't win this one, we're just dead to rights. We'll lose at Tech. We'll be back at home, and we'll be 3-4 or something. And then when we're flying home, I think it was like a funeral procession home, right? And we're like, shoot, dude, we just hope nothing happens like between the next game. So, and that's just being honest. So I think that, that Tech game and that I mean, man, it was that performance shocked the snot out of me.
But to your point, too, with Sawyer, I mean, like, being thrown in a new quarterback right away, you got to build chemistry with your receivers, your line. They got to know how you're playing. So I think it gave him, that was about 3 or 4 games to get him in the rhythm. Coach Spaff had to see kind of how he worked games, how he played. And so I think it kind of took a little bit of time. But, like, to your point, making that change was obviously the right move.
Yeah, and you mentioned Coach Spav. I mean, think about how much new there was with the coaching staff this year. Coach Spavital, new offensive coordinator. Mason Miller, new offensive line coach. And maybe it just took a little while in the season. And even when I can say we on a Baylor show, even when we were 2-4, a Hail Mary away from beating Colorado at their place, and they had a great season. And maybe one field goal away from beating BYU at home. That would have been huge also. So that 2-4 looked really bad, and the record was what it was. But I think all along Coach Aranda saw what was possible with this team, even when it was 2-4.
Yeah, I would 100%. Sorry, bro. I would 100% agree because I think we did see flashes. We did see the BYU game. We got it to a final drive, and we couldn't make the drive. The Colorado game, we just had all systems failure. So I think we did see those signs, and Tech it just came together.
And it was cool too. Is thinking back, if you look from a coaching perspective, going all the way back to the spring, and I'm sure Coach Aranda can touch on this. As a coaching staff, you think you have one team. Like, you think this team, this is kind of what their identity is. And you get to training camp, it changes a little bit, guys move around. And then you get into the season, and it's kind of not going how you thought. And then you got to reevaluate going into the bye week. The fact that they were able to move those pieces around, guys were not giving up. They stayed resilient and trying to figure out what kind of team they were. That team had a lot of personalities, I'm sure, from start of spring all the way through training camp until now where we are now. It's just cool to see how teams can completely change.
All right, guys, thank you very much. Really good performance. I would have said, both of you said the Tech game performance of the year. I would agree with you. That's what I would have said also because that was the tipping point of the season, one way or the other. 0-3 in conference, coming off the open date. And from there, they haven't lost since. So that was great is what it was, and a great answer coming off that open day. All right, we're with J.J. Joe. We're with Bryce Hager, and a great crowd here in Houston at the Marriott Marquis. It's our 2024 Texas Bowl preview show. Coach Aranda, we're going to get him on with us when he comes in here. Dave, we'll get Coach Aranda when he comes in. We're watching for him, and we'll do that in just a few minutes. Hey, our show is brought to you in part by Pop's Lemonade, the perfect blend of sweet and tart, just like Pop made it for catering. Merchandise, gift cards, and more. Check out Pop's Lemonade online today. And we'll take a break and be back live from Houston coming up in just a moment on the Texas Bowl Preview Show. And we'll be right back.
At HEB, we know that game day is about more than the game itself. The taste of victory is unparalleled, but so is the taste of HEB jalapeno
Coach is coming
peppers
in.
hot off the grill. Seeing the best players in their
All right,
Let's put him right here at the end. How about that?
Is it
Yeah,
this segment,
you
John?
stay. He's here. Coach is here.
Okay, I'm just going to record it separately.
Okay, cool.
Things that
Thanks.
Make game day great and delicious. Visit HEB.
Let me call
your
for an
official
ID
game
first
day
thing, okay?
headquarters, Or use the Buy HEB.
Sure thing.
Thank you.
Prepping for game day right away.
Hi, this is John Morris for Green Eye Associates. Let Green Eye
Jose,
Associates,
how you
Doctors
doing?
Lee
Good to see you, my
Green
man.
and Avery Platt help you see Waco clearly. Their experienced team enjoys making your eye exam fun, easy, and accurate, providing trustworthy and honest communication about your eyes and eyewear. Visit them on Lake Air Drive or at greeneyeassociates.com to see their services and a wide selection of eyewear made on-site by experts. Green Eye Associates, official optometrists of Baylor Athletics.
Jeff Haas Mazda and the Baylor Bears both know what it takes to be number one. Hard work, determination, commitment. The number one Mazda dealer in Texas, Jeff Haas Mazda, is inviting
Can you
all
hear
the
okay?
Baylor Bear
Yeah,
fans
okay.
listening
Yeah,
to visit
good.
us for hard-hitting deals on every new Mazda in stock, with fresh inventory
It's
hitting
almost
the
getting
ground
dark
daily.
in this corner.
And every
Yeah.
new Mazda comes with our Jeff Haas Advantage plan. Plus, your trade is now worth more than ever. We're buying all makes and models. Get our best cash offer in minutes.
How long you guys been
Jeff
down
Haas
here?
Mazda on the KD
I
Freeway.
got here about 30 minutes ago.
Baylor alumni are
Right
more
on
than
time.
160,000
That's
strong.
cool.
When we all join hands to support our
Yeah, I'll
university,
be coming back for
we
the
don't
game
just
on
move the
Tuesday.
needle.
Cool.
We
back
move
in.
mountains. Working together, we create life-changing opportunities for students on the field,
Okay.
in the classroom, in the laboratory, and in life for generations to come. So get connected. Get
Very cool.
involved. Learn how at baylor.edu/alumni.
You're listening to Baylor Football on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
As we continue live from Houston, our Texas Bowl preview show, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. Back in 10 seconds on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
From the Allen Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Studios, this is KRZI Waco, K222DC Waco, K265DV Temple, ESPN Central Texas.
And back with us live from Houston, the Marriott Marquis. And folks, join us in welcoming Baylor head football coach Dave Aranda joining us. Coach, welcome to you. Friendly crowd here, Coach. Congratulations again on the season. We were just talking about the turnaround from the first 6 games to the last 6, 2-4, 6-0, the last 6 games of the year. I said, tell me if I'm right in this, that you really never wavered. You really had faith in this team even through the first half of the year.
Yeah, well, it's good to be here with you guys, and I'm excited to be here with you all. But yeah, you knew the team was good. You knew that we had talent. You knew that we had ourselves a quarterback. We had ourselves an O-line and running backs and receivers, and there'd be things that would happen in practice, and you'd go, "Why we need to get this happening in games?"
Right.
And all that stuff's hard to talk about. I think I've probably made the mistake of talking about that stuff in the past, and so. You knew we were just a play or two away, and I think defensively, right, the improvements that they were showing up there, and like, hey, we're getting Keaton Thomas to feel more comfortable. We're getting Matt Jones playing faster. We're getting DJ Coleman kind of step up in his role, and various guys making moves. You knew that we had ourselves a good team, and so it was just a matter of time. I think what we needed was a pat in the back, and some confidence.
Right.
And so I think once we had that, we were taking off.
If you could bottle that, you could sell it for millions of dollars. What you did during the open date and the way you came out, beat Tech the first game out of that really impressively. What can you tell us about what happened during that open week, the 2 weeks to get ready for the Tech game?
Yeah, you always go back to that, and I can understand that. I think everybody does, because that's when the winning started. But I think all of that goes back to me to January, to the mindset, to working on football, for it to be important, for it to be, hey man, we're not here to lose, we're here to win. We got our butts kicked on the Rodeo Bowl last night, and so
we heard this.
I had staff meeting, I had a team meeting. And I'm like, dude, we're not here to lose, right? You should be pissed off, man. I don't want, LSU rodeoing some little box thing and then looking at us as they're walking off. Like, who wants that? I don't want that. Do we come here for that? So I think that there's that's a whole thing, and that has to be that has to be maturated, and that has to be kind of grown, and all of it. And so that started in January. And so to have that all the way through, it took, there's some learning that had to do. There's some fitting in with new guys that had to happen. But I think that was the big change was January. Yeah.
Coach, as a former quarterback, I want to start there. Tell me from your assessment the difference in Sawyer between, say, what you saw in spring, summer camp, fall camp, and then eventually, you finally saw the production on the field. Kind of what did you see in that progression that, of course, the performances would told you, hey, this is the guy, but kind of talk me through that because he's now, of course, solidified himself in that position.
Yeah, there's always positive things with Sawyer, and he's always been someone you want to root for. And I think we all enjoy rooting for him now. But I think the biggest difference for him, I think it's very similar to our team, was confidence. Right. I think he needs someone to believe in him. I think that it was so tough. I mean, anything that was positive found a way to be negative, and then there was plenty of negative to go around. And so I just think when someone really cares and they're not all about them, they take that really personally, and you wear that, and I think that's what he did. And, to get him to where, hey, man, that ain't the thing. You've got something real special. You got to believe in yourself and all of it. And I think, there's a whole group of people, his family being the most important. And then I think with Spav and open up the offense, there's confidence in there. I think Hal Presley has been a big factor in Sawyer gaining confidence. And then I think once you had a little bit of confidence and just a little bit of success, then all of a sudden the guy that you knew was always there is constantly there. But I think when you care so much about stuff and you hear it all and you don't think that's you don't think I can do it. You don't think maybe they're right. Maybe they're all of this. And so much of it was that, and so I think for him to go through all that and come out the other side, I think he's going to be way helpful to some of our younger players that are going to, are getting introduced to it. I think it's just the life that we live right now.
When did you believe the light came on for him? Like, I mean, it seemed like, from my personal opinion, I think when I saw him the first week, I think he came into mop-up duty in your first game, and he's really decisive. And maybe the opponent was overmatched. But then I was like a couple weeks in, I think just want to see him. So from your perspective, when did the light, I guess, come on?
Yeah, you could start to see that in, at the fall camp. You could start to see confidence. The fall camp ended at a certain time. If there's a couple more weeks to it, it got harder. It was getting. It wasn't really necessarily getting easier. It was getting harder. Right. And you could just feel his confidence grow. I think when Sawyer is at his best, he knows where to go with the ball. It's out quick. He's decisive with it. He's got touch on the ball, or touch on his throws. He puts it where it needs to be, and all of it. When he's not at his best, his feet are moving. He's patting the ball. He panics. He kind of shot puts the ball. And so you could see a lot of that, kind of the good and bad in spring, and then you saw less and less of the bad stuff in fall camp. And then when the opportunity came, in the season, you really saw none of it. And so that's just a way cool thing. I think, I think all of us as coaches, we probably want to be able to take some type of accountability for all that. But really, that's Sawyer. Right. That's him. Right. That's his confidence. That's him going through all of it, and just way proud of him.
Yeah, from being on a defensive guy, and you're coming in, I'm naturally going to lean on the linebackers. Those guys I've been watching, Matt Jones and Keaton Thomas. You're taking over the defensive coordinator role with the head coaching job. That's a lot to manage during a game. How much did you have to lean on Matt and Keaton during those games? Those guys, the leaders on the field, those guys making the plays on the field. How much did those guys help you, or did you got to lean on? Because it looked, from my perspective, those guys did a great job, especially toward the tail end of the season, controlling and commanding the defense.
Yeah, I go back to the rodeo bowl that we lost last night. There's examples in there. They have all these events that they do, and it was just really so frustrating watching it. Because when you're on the outside of it, looking in, thanks, man. You're looking in at it. It's kind of like, why didn't you just step this way? Or the calf, they weren't really calves, by the way. I think they were bulls. But the calves over here, what you need to go over here and move it this way. And hey, you go for the small calf, don't go for the big calf. And there's all these things that are just built in. And I think, so like you could have the kind of the idea of a thing, but there's so many just intangibles. There's so many. If you have the A, then you got the 1, 2, 3, and you have all these things that are below it that are just really the lifeline of the thing. They really make up the thing. And I think linebacker, as you know, is very much that way. And so, like, you have to talk when you're on the sidelines and you're talking about something. It's like there's many depths, there's levels. It's the same thing as a coach talking to a quarterback, right? And so you have to talk that way. And I think that started back in January too, where they had to draw all 22 all the 11 offense and 11 defense, and they had to draw it all up. And hey, if you move this chess piece, this is what happens. Hey, if you're in this look, this is what happens. If you're in a 30 technique, then it's this. If you're in a 10 technique, the angles are bad. Now it's this. And so there's a whole thing that goes with it. And I think, we had some guys that struggled to keep up and fell off, and their playing time reflected that. Right. Those two were able to keep up, and I think towards the end, that Kansas game, we just saw so much just this way, and unbalanced sets, and all these other things. And anticipating LSU is very much the opposite of that. They're very much here we are lined up. We're better than you. Deal with it. I'd have to anticipate with some of the big plays that Kansas got, we're going to see some of this, which is not in their. It's not in their makeup, but to be able to talk through all of that and get to the understanding of how this is supposed to be, I think is a fair amount. I think the Big 12 is probably more of that than other leagues, right? Of having to deal with all the mess and just all of the creativity and all of the offensive, scheming that goes on. And so I think for those guys, the growth is way cool, and they deserve a lot of credit for that.
Yeah, that's awesome. 2 guys in the middle with 100-plus tackles in the season, running around sideline to sideline. So those guys were fun to watch.
No, thank you. Continuing with Coach Dave Aranda, a segment brought to you by Baylor Scott & White, Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, the official team doctors for Baylor Athletics. How about the year by Bryson Washington? You had seen that, haven't you, in practice? And once he finally got healthy, everybody else saw it. 1,000-yard season, freshman All-American running back.
Yeah, I think the growth with him has been really cool off the field. I think early on, we'd be in the 9-on-7 period, and I'd be back there with the linebackers. This was last year, and I'd always look at it from the defensive side, and they'd be going, hey, this boy's coming to run you over. And so that was way different from some of the other guys that were getting the ball at that time. And so very early on, you knew that this guy was different, and he ran hard, and he was a violent dude. He looked for contact. He looked to run guys over and all of that. But, there's just the off-the-field things just kept kind of dragging him down. We're trying to push him up. He's dragging down. And so I think the opportunity to kind of slow all that down and to talk it through, and then with some new coaches coming in and kind of new chances on all of that to kind of grow up and build it up, been way cool, because I think his growth off the field and on the field been way cool. They're kind of at the same thing, and so everything we see off the field is started on the field or off the field with him, And so I think that's a lot of credit goes to Coach Hall and Coach Spav and just their attention to that. But then I think his ability to accept that and kind of grow up with all of it been a big factor.
Coach, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about up front, offensive line. Early on, I know we played a few tougher defenses, I felt like, Utah was good up front. BYU is big. We saw that last night. But the slight move to put Sidney at tackle, which I don't remember him playing as much until maybe the Iowa State game at tackle. Talk about, kind of the change up front, kind of what you saw in that change. And that seemed to be, of course, the thing that spawned the running game and, of course, adding Bryson. Talk about that little slight change in the offensive line.
Yeah, I think the big change there was just the style of play. I think with Spav coming in and it's a downhill run game. I think for those that remember Coach Browse was here and all of that, and just it's that style. And so I remember I coached with Coach Browse at Houston, and I remember there was one time I went to talk to him about it, and he gave me this look because it was the O linemen at that point, when it was a run, they were their heels were completely off the ground, and they're white knuckles, and they're like this coming at you. And when it's a pass, they were like this. And I'm kind of going, Coach, there's this, and he just got, Dave, it's not going to matter. That's what he said. And he was right. He was right. It didn't matter. When they're coming like this and they're just rolling off downhill runs with the splits being so wide, right? You had to commit, and they had the RPO off of it, right? And so the glance route, and then you had the fade route off of it. You had to commit to it, and if you don't, then there's downhill. The ball just bounces outside. There's no one in the seam. There's all this space, and so we're of the same cloth that way, And so that allowed our guys to just get physical. We have half-line periods at the end of the season, and just the double teams and the movement. I mean, we really had to build an anchor, and it's impressive to watch. And along with that is like once the confidence came, and once they saw that, hey man, that first play of the Tech game I think was 7 yards. That's the first 7-yard run we had all year long. And then it was like, okay, we can do this, and then it just takes off after that. I just think the belief, that's the thing I take away from this year, is the power of belief and how strong it is. And it's to how hard it is to get it. When there's a phone in your pocket and stuff that says all the other things, right? And so I think like the scheme really helped. There's guys like Ryan Lingell that, took to the scheme. I mean, we've got clips of Ryan Lingell finishing people. The Kansas game, we had multiple snaps where we had linemen putting their D linemen in the ground, and we showed like a 10-play reel of that. And we're celebrating every time a guy were to put a guy on the ground, and then he pushes off the guy to get up and all of it. And so there just becomes a pride and a confidence that comes with that. But you don't even know what that is if you never done it, right? And a coach is talking that way, and you go, that's not for me. That's not what I could do. And so then once they get a taste of it, obviously they want more.
A phase that's often overlooked, special teams. Talk about what kind of weapon you had with Palmer being able to pin guys, and what that does for your defense, and that kind of confidence that gets if they're in the pin to the 20, pin to the 10, and kind of they have to drive 90 yards now, and kind of what kind of momentum and he brought to the team.
Yeah, I'm proud of our teams. I thought last year, for all the failures, we had really good special. We were number one in our league, and we went ahead and did it again this year, with teams. And so that's 2 years in a row just playing really strong. I'm way proud of that, of all the work that goes into that. We had practice today, and we had a ACC crew that was doing the refs that were doing our game, and we had a lot of special teams time today, and so we had a bunch of kicks and everything, and Palmer is just, and we had one of the guys come to me, and he goes, man, that boy's pretty good. That ref, he goes, this boy is pretty good. And I think he's got the chance to be one of the best. Yeah, he's got a chance to be one of the best, and so it is for sure a weapon. And when you can flip the field like that, and you always want to move the ball when you're backed up and get it out, but if you can't, you want to be smart about it, because you know that we can flip it with him, and so that is a factor.
Continuing with Coach Dave Aranda, final word from the Baylor head coach, presented by Jeff Haas Mazda. Jeff Haas Mazda, the #1 Mazda dealer in Texas. I think we've talked to you for a few minutes here. We haven't mentioned LSU much. Your former school, you were there. What do you see from LSU, and what are your feelings about going against a school where you worked and helped them win a national championship?
Yeah, I have a lot of good memories there, friends there. We had an event, last night that they were there, and the video coordinator is still there. Doug O'Quinn is just unbelievable person, unbelievable guy, and just he's helped me still with being a Baylor. There's film, there's a drill that we did in 2017, and it was this week, and he finds it and sends it to me. It's just this awesome guy, and he's always been like that. There's countless guys that are all throughout that building that are just quality people that have been there for a long time, and so to see them is way cool. I want LSU to win, not this game, but I want them to win, and I want them to be successful. And so, when I look at the team, it's defensively they're way pressure oriented. They blitz quite a bit. When a pressure hits home, I mean, it gets behind the sticks and everything. The ball's either going this way or they get so aggressive the ball gets that way fast. And so we want some of that, you know. And so I'm hopeful that we can have some big plays off of their aggression. But if they get you behind the chains, you know, the blood's in the water and the whole thing, they're very much that way. They are one of the more attacking defenses that we've seen. And so all of our guys are excited for that challenge, and I think offensively it's all pushed by the quarterback. I think he's Nussmeier. I mean, he's a coach's kid. I remember when we were recruiting him, you know, just way smart, can identify the whole thing, and then he holds a bunch of checks, so he runs all of it. So like if there's a blitz thing, he'll get out of it. If it's a soft coverage, he'll change the route. Right? If it's a protection thing, he'll change the protection. He, more than any quarterback, so much more than any quarterback we played, he runs the whole show.
Wow.
And so our ability to not tip stuff off and not tell him what we're doing is essential. You know, and he does a bunch of hard counts and stuff, tries to get you to jump to show it and then check to it. So that's going to be a big part of the game. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, there's some guys out, but there's still guys there, and they're talented and everything else. And so it's a game that we got to win, and it's going to be a challenge, but we're in it to win.
So, Coach, with that in mind, watching these guys, I mean, they have some receivers out, but they are going to put pressure on the back end. That's been part of the thing, playing the ball in there. I thought we did better against Kansas, did a good job. Kind of what have you been working on in that aspect of the game of making sure on the back end you're where you need to be and make sure you compete against these guys who are very athletic?
Yeah, it's frustrating. I think, you know, we've talked about kind of guys pushing through adversity and trying to find confidence and getting confidence and kind of how they flip the script and stuff with whether it's Sawyer or the team or the O-line. You know, we've just not been able to do it with our DBs consistently. Now, I think these last couple of games there's been some success because we've gotten takeaways, and so there's less possessions, less opportunities to play the ball in the air, you know. And so I think that's been something, you know, we're +5 in turnover margin right now. We're actually one of the top teams in the country. This, from where we started to where we're at, is a way cool thing. They're -2, and so this is going to be one of our biggest advantages in the game, is that we don't turn it over and then we get turnovers. And they, you know, I think with us, if you disguise stuff and then you get pressure, he will hold on the ball and he will try to make something happen when there's nothing there.
Right.
And that's good. That's been good for opposing teams. We hope it's good for us.
Coach, we need to let you go. We appreciate it. Thanks very much. Looking forward to the game on Tuesday.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
Coach Dave Aranda, head coach of the Baylor Bears, Baylor and LSU in the Texas Bowl on Tuesday. Take a break. Be back with more in just a moment from the Marriott Marquis in downtown Houston. We'll be right back on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Syntex Metals is now your hometown sandblasting and powder coating company. There's no job too big or too small. They do it all. They will leave your metals looking like brand new. For a free estimate, call Syntex Metals at 254-829-2217. That's 254-829-2217. Or visit them online at syntexmetals.com.
We're gonna do a real short segment here to get another break.
God bless Texas.
Premier ER and Urgent Care has all the convenience of urgent care with all the expertise of an ER, all under one roof. At every visit, be seen by ER-trained staff with on-site lab and CT, X-ray, ultrasound, and EKG. Here, you pay for the appropriate level of care that you receive, and we are in network with most major insurance providers. Premier ER and Urgent Care.
Not yet. Next segment.
We'll
burn a break.
Temple, Waco, and Woodway. To learn more,
we'll get something done real quick here.
www.premier.care.
TFNB, your bank for life, is the official local.
I'm back.
Okay. We'll do something real quick here, just to burn a break.
Okay, yeah, we got 5 left.
I know.
Savings accounts to earn interest or cash back with 5 convenient locations and an award-winning mobile app. Banking has never been easier. TFNB, your bank for life. Member FDIC.
That was his last year. He was there from 84 to 80.
Y'all listen up. Let me tell you something about good meals from Rhoades Barbecue. It's got all you need for all the folks you gotta feed, smoked meat, sides, and more. There's everything down to the tablecloth, just like the one that you see in the store. At a bridal shower, it's better than flowers. At a long business meeting, it'll pass the hours. It'll feed all the cousins at a family function. It's better than potluck at a church luncheon. Next time you need to feed 10 or more, call an order a Rhoades group meal.
on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Welcome back. Enjoyed visiting with, hearing from Coach Dave Aranda, Baylor head coach. Baylor and LSU comes up on Tuesday in the Texas Bowl here in Houston. Hey, we're preparing champions for life, presented by GXG Elite, the official NIL partner of Baylor Athletics. I saw David Kay here at somewhere, our general manager for NIL. Not sure where David is, but David doing a terrific job along with everyone with GXG Elite. Baylor fans, become a member of GXG Elite and get unprecedented access to fan engagement opportunities. GXG Elite uses memberships and purchases to support the broader NIL initiatives for Baylor University's student athletes. We'd love for you to be a part of that. We're also brought to you by TFNB, your bank for life, the official local bank of Baylor Athletics. Take a quick break. We'll be joined by Baylor's athletic director, Mack Rhoades, when we come back. Stay with us. It's the Texas Bowl preview show live from Houston and here on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
The wrap-up Goodyear sales event at Allen Samuels in Waco has huge savings. Get a 2024 Wagoneer or Grand Wagoneer Series 3 and get a whopping dealer discount of $15,000 plus 3.9% financing for 72 months. That's right, 3.9% for 72 months and dealer discount of $15,000. Or drive off in a 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee Overland or Limited 4XE and save $15,000. Plus you qualify for $7,500 federal tax deduction. Hurry, only at Allen Samuels in Waco. First responders get an extra $500. Come by. Let's be friends.
Are you looking for a new set of wheels? First Central Credit Union Auto Financing offers fast, complete coverage, competitive rates, and flexible terms make for a win in financing your next vehicle. A quick online application makes it easy to score the money you need at firstcentralcu.com. Everything we do for you.
Membership and loan policy requirements apply. Member NCUA.
They'll fight a lot now, but they'll end up when they get into the
Baylor fans, want to get more out of your game day? With GXG Elite, you're not just a fan. You're part of the Baylor
they may already be.
VIP access to athlete events, content, and the chance to support our stars on and off.
It's really cool.
It's all about being all in.
No, we've got them all in Waco right now.
Join us at gxgelite.com and be a part of something
Might be the best friend.
Yeah, no, it's exactly.
Is that your grandbaby you're holding?
Yeah.
At HEB, we know that
11
game
months
day
old,
is about
so.
more than the game
Yeah.
itself. The taste of victory is unparalleled, but so is the taste of HEB jalapeno
it's a lot of
poppers
fun.
hot off the
So,
grill. Seeing the best players in their prime is truly something to behold. So is an HEB Prime 1 burger that you grilled to perfection. For low prices on all the things that make game day great and delicious, visit HEB, your official game day headquarters, or use the Buy HEB app to start prepping for game day right away.
I mean, it's just one of the
You're listening to Baylor football on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
So they had moved around.
And welcome back live from Houston in the Marriott Marquis Biggio's Restaurant, our Texas Bowl preview show tonight. We are brought to you in part by First Central Credit Union, serving members since 1937. Everything we do for you at First Central Credit Union. And we have been joined now by Baylor's athletic director, Mack Rhoades. Mack, welcome to you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. It's great to see everybody.
This is fun.
Yeah,
nice
this
crowd.
is fun. This is a great place. So thanks to the Bear Foundation for putting this together. So really, really cool place.
Very well done. Do you sense, what is your sense of the excitement level among the Baylor family for this bowl game?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of excitement. I was talking to the director of the Texas Bowl yesterday, and he said it was going to be a Baylor crowd on Tuesday. So the Baylor fans have you've all done a great job of coming on out and supporting the team, and so grateful for you. So we're going to have to make a lot of noise.
Yeah. Really good. And how about this season by Coach Aranda and the staff and the team? But to start out 0-3 in conference, finish with a bullet, 6 straight wins. What a finish! What a second half of the year.
Yeah, I mean it. I remember vividly sitting there at 2-4 and had the bye week and just thinking about that bye week and. I knew that we had an opportunity to go on a run because our our kids, right, our staff had stayed focused. Coach Aranda was unbelievable in terms of the staff, in terms of our student athletes. The locker room was really, really healthy. The culture was. Kids were really upset, right? Our players really upset after a couple of those losses, obviously, but they just stayed together. Mm-hmm. And so you could just feel it. You weren't sure, right? That was a big mountain to climb, after 2-4, but felt great certainly after the Texas Tech game. And I would say that Coach Aranda and his staff, when I think about across the country, and because of my role on the CFP, just having to watch so many games, they did as good a job as any staff in the country coming out of bye weeks. I mean, they really did a great job during bye weeks and cleaning up some things and improving some things that they needed to do. So great second half of the season. Every game was just felt like a win or die situation, but it was great to see us come together and really flip momentum, and you could feel it as our confidence is everything when you think about a football team, and when your players and even your staff starts to gain confidence and that snowball starts to roll downhill, you could just see that happening. And with every snap, with every play, with every game, our kids, our players, our staff just gained a bunch of confidence.
So, Mack, let's just kind of revisionist, but like if you're sitting there like the day before the Tech game, and high leverage moment really for everything at 2-4, from an AD's perspective, I mean, kind of what kind of things are running through your mind, and kind of what were you, I guess, thinking after observing kind of the last, I guess, couple weeks of practice and meeting with the coaches?
Yeah, I think mentally, quite frankly, I was struggling a little bit. And I see my wife out there, Amy, and I see Brad sitting there, and Brad and I had this conversation. And I think I was a little bit ticked off at God going, hey, what is going on here? I mean, we have an individual that is so good for this institution, so good for our players, right?
Right.
Who suspends their two of their best players the morning of the BYU game, knowing what's on the line, right?
Yeah.
Because he didn't care. It wasn't about him. It was about those two players and a life lesson that was going to be, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years beyond. And so, and I just, was struggling through that going, man, we are so close and we're right here, and why is this happening? And then just, hey, man, you got to dump all of it and just trust in him, and let's go play these next games and see how it rolls. And man, we played. I really believe by the last game, after the Kansas game, we were one of the best teams in the country, the way we were playing. So again, great credit to Coach Aranda and the staff and our players.
I mean, what a great opportunity, the way started the season 2-4, able to go on that 6-game win streak, and putting us in a situation we're sitting here in Houston, about to play LSU in the Texas Bowl. I mean, from where we started the season to where we are now, I mean, what a great tell of this story. If we can finish the season 9-4 from starting 2-4, I mean, I think that's a testament to Coach Aranda, his staff, the players we have, and hope to retain most of those players. And so, I mean, I just think the way the season has gone, I mean, it's not over, but it's super exciting to sit where we're sitting now and what we're talking about right now. It's really cool.
Yeah, I think, Bryce, I appreciate that, and I think, we're in a good spot right now. You always got to be careful and cautious and never take anything for granted in the new world that we're living in, because everything is changing every single day. And we're going to have to get really comfortable being uncomfortable about change. And it just is, right? The change, the transformation of a roster from one day to the next, et cetera. And I think, again, our staff's done a wonderful job when we think about, signing day and the December 4th through the 6th, and then, how we've navigated the transfer portal. And, we've had some young men leave that I think was good for them and was probably good for our program. I think we brought in some some great young men as well. After the bowl game, we're going to have to go through that process again. There's that 5-day window after the bowl game that you can go into the transfer portal, even though it's officially closed now. And so just continuous change, but I feel like we've been in a really, really good spot. And I think over the 6 games, there were just some really cool moments. To celebrate the 13 and 14 championship team and to win, a game-winning field goal against TCU, man, that was awesome, right? To go to West Virginia, and we had never, I'd never won there, that's for sure, not in football, but we were 0-8 going into that place, and being able to win there, and then the way we finished it, I thought just in commanding fashion against a Kansas team that, we're sitting there in the CFP room talking about Kansas, beating a ranked BYU team, a ranked Iowa State team, a ranked Colorado team, right, coming in playing as well as anybody in the country. So it was a really cool finish to the season.
Can you stay for a minute? Can we go take a break?
Absolutely.
All right, we need to take a break. Back with more in a moment. How about this? We've got a mic. We're going to let you here in the audience ask questions of Mack or Bryce or JJ if you would like. But we're going to pass the mic around when we come back. That's on our 2024 Texas Bowl preview show live from Houston. We'll continue right after this on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Big smiles, rockin' tunes, and epic drinks. Dutch Bros Coffee is
all right, let's check that. Check that, Mike. You talk.
Mac Mike.
Hang on.
Customizable,
4. Okay.
beverages like our energy drinks, coffees, teas, lemonade, sodas, and more. Download the Dutch Bros app.
What do you got in store in the new year?
Rewards. Sign up now and your first drink is on us. Get up early, stay up late, and change the world with Dutch Bros.
Hey, John.
A bank in any town USA treats everyone like, well, anyone. At Central National Bank, we provide Central Texans with a different kind of banking. We believe in people over processes, listening over telling, and helping our customers over helping ourselves. Come to Central National Bank and experience the difference. Bank different. Bank Central. Central National Bank. Member FDIC. Proud partner of Baylor Athletics.
Northern and Nye Printing and Office Supplies would like to be your printing and office supply headquarters. Our knowledgeable and experienced sales staff will help you find any supply item you need, all from the convenience of your office. Visit with our staff by phone or have one of them come by to see you in person. Northern and Nye offers next day delivery, quarterly sales promotions, competitive prices, and friendly service. Northern and Nye, 662-2292. We want to be your printing and office supply headquarters.
Jeff Haas Mazda and the Baylor Bears both know what it takes to be #1. Hard work, determination, commitment. The #1 Mazda dealer in Texas, Jeff Haas Mazda, is inviting all the Baylor Bear fans listening to visit us for hard-hitting deals on every new Mazda in stock, with fresh inventory hitting the ground daily. And every new Mazda comes with our Jeff Haas Advantage plan. Plus, your trade is now worth more than ever. We're buying all makes and models. Get our best cash offer in minutes. Jeff Haas Mazda on the Katy Freeway.
Just for that specific team. So for you, after a ball game, you're the guys on your team.
On the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Back with us live from Houston on the Texas Bowl preview show tonight. Marriott Marquis, downtown Houston. Brought to you in part by H-E-B. H-E-B, here everything's better. Best laid plans of mice and men, Mac. The wireless mic is not working right now.
Man.
But if somebody, Kerry Gray, has a question you really want to ask, just come up here and we'll give you one of these headsets and let you ask Mac. But we'll try to get that going. And I apologize for that. I thought we had the wireless mic available for questions from our audience. You, Mac, mentioned it. You were on the CFP selection committee this year. Ward Manuel was the head of the CFP selection committee. What was
Bless
that
him.
at the at the end of that process? What are your takeaways from your first year on that committee?
Yeah, I think one, I really enjoyed it. Great people. I think for everybody in this room, so cool to be with Coach Grobe again. Love him, and such a wonderful human being, and just to be able to spend time with him. But then, had the opportunity to spend time with Coach Pinkel, which we were together at Missouri, and one of my best friends in the business, Hunter Yurchek, the athletic director of Arkansas, it was his first year. And so just the people, the entire committee, just a lot of fun just to be around, and made the job, just enjoyable, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of, if you're going to do it well, it takes a lot of time. You watch a lot of film. I've watched more film probably in that, particularly that 5-week period of time probably than I have in my entire life. Right? We would start film on Sunday at about 9 a.m. and finish about midnight, and then we're back doing it again that Monday morning. But great process. Again, for us, the committee just focused on ranking 1 through 25. It'll be interesting to see here in the future, the immediate future. This is the upcoming year is the last year of the current CFP contract, and if the commissioners get together, and I know there's been a lot of conversation in terms of the bracket and how everything is bracketed, and so will there be any immediate changes, or will we wait until the start of the new CFP contract? So that'll be interesting to see how it plays out. But again, I've said it before, it's a blessing, it's an honor. Couldn't have done it. It's part of it's a we appointment. It's because of just all of the good things that are happening at Baylor. I've got great staff out there, and I know Jovan and David Kane. I see Brent and others around that I think they're back in their own corner there. Cody Hall and Kenny Boyd, and just all of them did such a great job of just keeping everything together while I was doing that for 5 weeks.
That's great. You mentioned some of your former connections, former places. We're back in Houston. You were here at one point. You mentioned this Texas Bowl is looking like a Baylor crowd. How great is it to land here in Houston?
Yeah, it really is, and it's great to be back here. This is a great city, and Amy and I and the girls enjoyed living here. I think we're here for about 5.5 years, and so have great friends and great time. And the people, the Texas Bowl, they really do a terrific job. David Fletcher, the director, has been a longtime friend, and he called me and said, hey, would you guys be excited to come? And we said absolutely. And they've done a great job, and I think our staff and the staff's families and our student athletes have really enjoyed it. So I think it's time to play ball, though. So
that's right.
We're ready to go. So
yeah, just last thing on kind of that administrative stuff. So you did the CFP, kind of just overarching with kind of what college athletics is. I mean, like, what do you see as kind of the next step for college athletics now that it's almost semi-pro ball, right?
This is only a 90-minute show.
That's right.
Okay,
but
so
I mean, just a very
a
summarized version of kind of what do you see the next step, man?
Yeah, so, I think one, right, the whole House settlement, we haven't had final approval yet, and so we're anticipating that on April 7th. And, I think signs, everything looks like that will happen, right? And I think once that happens, we're really going to have to wait for about, I think, 18 months to see how the dust settles, right?
Yeah.
I don't personally, this is my opinion, I don't think, where we're at today, okay, it's not sustainable. And it's not sustainable for anybody, truthfully. And, you've seen, some casualties because of it. You've seen some coaches, that still had years remaining, good years remaining. I think about Tony Bennett, and I think about Jay Wright and others, right, that just, hey, this isn't for me anymore. And so, I'm hoping here again in about 12 to 18 months, dust settles, and we really figure out how we do this. And I think what's gotten lost in all of this is our young people, right?
Yeah.
What is best for our young people? And at the end of the day, college athletics takes place at a place of higher education, right? Yeah. And we get lost that, hey, most of these young people are not going to go on and make a living, right?
Right.
And so this time, right, spent at a Baylor University or elsewhere, man, it has to be real-time, quality time, going to class, getting your education, all of those things, right? So that when it's done, you're prepared for life. And man, that's where I get really disappointed, because we're not talking about that right now, amongst all of this. And we've got to find a way and a time and a place to get back to that, right? And I think we can continue to be really competitive when we think about big-time college athletics and not lose that. And if we lose that, quite frankly, we're failing our young people. And again, we need to be really, really mindful of that. And that's why I think Baylor is so blessed, because we've got a great president, we've got a great chair in terms of Chair Mears is here and President Livingstone, and we've got great coaches that really do believe that. And we can't lose that. And, I said it before, this is a 10-round heavyweight fight. We're probably in round 3 or 4, and we're going to take some body blows. Wow. And we have. And but when we get to round 9 or 10, Baylor's going to remain standing, and I really, really believe that.
Yeah. Wow, that's great.
That's one question.
Yeah, exactly. And that was a short answer.
That was a short answer, right?
On that question. Mack, we appreciate you. I love to introduce you as the best athletic director in the country, and you said, you don't have to do that. And I said, I mean it. And folks, don't we agree? Best athletic director in the country, Mack Rhoades. Thank you very much.
So,
thanks for being
guys.
here.
Thank you all.
All right, Mack, let's finish it out with a win on Tuesday. Mack Rhoades, Baylor's Director of Athletics. Take a break and be right back on our Texas Bowl preview show live from Houston.
Hey, Baylor fans.
I'll be right back, John.
Okay.
Experience, GXG Elite, you can get more than just front row seats.
That's 7. 2 more breaks, right?
Favorite athletes, exclusive content, and member-only events. Plus, every membership supports our students.
Just hold on to it.
On the field. Join the team at GXGElite.com.
Thanks, Mack. Appreciate it.
GXGElite.com. Get in the game. All in with GXG Elite.
This season, beat the holiday rush and shop Astound.com for bigger deals, bigger savings, and bigger internet.
See ya.
For
Thanks a lot.
time, get Astound Internet for only $20 a month for 2
Terry's here.
years.
Yeah.
Plus,
She stuck her head in,
add
then she
5G
left, so I
unlimited
got to find her again.
for 12 months.
Thank you. Thank you.
Our award-winning fiber-powered internet can handle it all. Faster streaming, better gaming, and secure online shopping. Lock in bigger savings than ever before at Astound.com. Restrictions apply. See Astound.com.
Hey, I sent you Coach, but
Yeah.
I already edited it.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
I
You got
started
it.
with your intro because
Yeah.
it says welcome back.
Yep.
Now Coach Dave Aranda. And I just ended it with the end of his last.
Perfect.
answer.
Sounds good. We'll
So
use
you
that
don't have to
tomorrow.
Send it back to me.
Okay.
It's
Thank you,
already
bud.
in. It's almost exactly 20 minutes. It's
20
like
minutes.
20,
Perfect.
13.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Sure thing, bud.
Oh, how exciting. So what can you do in a new Toyota this holiday season?
With a new RAV4, you
Not
can
really.
go
We're going to go set up.
I love dashing through
We'll
the
just go over fairly early.
Take a Camry to a
Early
trip
game on the air at 12:30.
Sounds merry and bright.
or even load up the family in a Highlander to go
Yeah.
ice skating.
What a jolly good
Yeah.
time. So, Dad, got any
So,
red Tacomas?
glad it's a
We
day
have a
game.
great selection of vehicles.
After my good job, I'm taking the missus
Oh, you are?
down to Florida to go stuff.
Cool. Cool. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it.
And I will meet you there.
Happy Toyota Thon.
Dealer inventory may vary. Offers are subject to change throughout Toyota Thon, which ends on January 6th. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Toyota. Let's go places.
You're listening to Baylor Football on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
And welcome back on our Texas Bowl preview show live from Houston, the Marriott Marquis and Biggio's Restaurant. We are brought to you in part by Premier ER and Urgent Care. Premier ER and Urgent Care is proud to be the official around-the-clock care provider for Baylor Athletics. Hey, on our flagship station in Waco, streaming on the web and streaming on YouTube as well. So if you're tuned in listening to us, you could watch the show or go back and watch the archived version as well. Just look up Baylor Athletics on the YouTube channel, as you can each and every one of our game broadcasts as well. So check that out tomorrow. Look right into the booth. See JJ wrapping up his 21st season at Baylor. Ricky Thompson's on the sidelines, his silver anniversary 25th season at Baylor. Ricky just had midseason his 300th consecutive game. That was terrific. And then Bryce and Derek Smith and Seth Russell on our pre- and post-game shows. So great crew as we head toward the final game of this season. Guys, we're going to get your final thoughts on the season and the bowl game, the matchup, after a break, okay? Let's get this break in, then we'll be back and get the thoughts of JJ and Bryce and more when we come back live from Houston on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
If you need a trailer, Flat Rock Trailers has got you covered. From light-duty single-axle utility trailers to the big Tex tandem duals. We also carry a full line of enclosed cargo
one more
trailers.
break,
Need a
right?
motorcycle trailer? We've got them.
All right. Getting them in?
Yes. I got way behind
Yeah,
there.
we're done now.
Huh? Yeah.
We went from way behind to, all right, we're all right.
I know, exactly.
We'll even rent you a trailer if you need to use one for a day. Flat Rock Trailers, your #1 source for all your trailer needs. Find us at flatrocktrailers.com.
26th.
Hello, Baylor fans.
I think they
26, wow, okay.
Yeah, I don't know the whole schedule,
The
but I
same
think they
goes
came
for
on the
winning in
26th.
court. When you're facing
They're probably ready
litigation
to play.
involving the things that matter most to you, call the team at Cherry Johnson Sigmund Jobs. Commercial litigation,
exactly.
intellectual
Serious
property,
time.
personal injury. When the stakes are high, you need proven litigators who will fight for you. To learn more, visit cjsjlaw.com. That's cjsjlaw.com. Ready for court, ready for anything.
First Central Credit Union invites you to join our team. Game strategy, earn 5% APY on your money. Enjoy ATM fee refunds and the ability to make deposits 24/7 at our ATMs. You can earn interest and have access to your money. Suit up in a free new member t-shirt. Join our team today at firstcentralcu.com. Everything we do for you. Sick 'em, Bears.
Eligibility and qualifications apply. APY annual percentage yield. Member NCUA.
Big smiles, rockin' tunes,
Oh,
and
yeah.
epic
Yeah,
drinks. Dutch Bros
he's playing big time
Coffee is
football.
all about you. Our broistas are here to whip up a variety of customizable handcrafted beverages like our Rebel energy drinks, coffees, teas, lemonade, sodas, and more. Download the Dutch Bros app to order ahead and start earning rewards. Sign up now and your first drink is on us. Get up early, stay up
We'll go
late,
about
and
6
change the
minutes here,
world
Aaron,
with
then we'll
Dutch
take that
Bros.
final break. Come back, wrap it up, and hit the close.
All right, sounds good.
Okay, thanks.
Football on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
And welcome back. Great crowd here in Houston. Thanks to everyone here at Biggio's in the Marriott Marquis in downtown Houston. Thanks to our crew here, Aaron Sexton, our network board operator, Luke Simons, doing great work behind the scenes, and Maddie and Kinsey helping us as well. And do appreciate each of you that are here, and those of you listening or those of you watching. You can go back and watch the archive of this show. Just subscribe to the Baylor Athletics channel on YouTube, and you'll get a lot of Baylor athletic content there. All right, JJ and Bryce, final thoughts. The matchup against LSU, what you expect to see. How do you think things play out on Tuesday?
You know, I'm interested to see it. I think LSU, what I'm concerned about, you know, Coach, they are a pressure team. If we had any kind of hickey on our neck, I would say when teams pressured us, Iowa State started pressuring us. They got out of their base, and we kind of we stalled. So throughout the season, I think Houston did a little pressure on us as well. So I'm interested to see how we handle pressure. We've had time to prepare for it, but I feel comfortable that Baylor should be able to run the ball. LSU, they've given up some plays. They like to press the line of scrimmage. I am concerned. Nussmeier is, the first thing notes I wrote down is he's a fast processor. He reacts, and he's a processor. And what Coach was telling us about, like his ability to read things and check out of plays, and he's gonna have enough talent. Don't get twisted. They're gonna miss some guys, but LSU is LSU. They're gonna have talent on the edge, and we're gonna have to play that ball in the air. So, but I think Baylor plays well. I think we run the ball. I think it's gonna be some points scored. And I'm just hoping at the end that we're there to make that one extra play. But it'll be a good game.
All right. Very good. Bryce, what are your thoughts?
I'm excited for this matchup. I always wanted the opportunity to go against LSU or an Alabama or one of the Auburn, one of those big SEC teams. And so the fact that I get to watch Baylor do it on Tuesday, I'm really excited for the matchup. But to your point with the quarterback, I mean, he's definitely a pro-style quarterback. He's able to read defenses. He can check plays at the line of scrimmage. And that's a high-level guy. As long as we can contain him on the defensive side, make him uncomfortable, create turnovers. LSU has been good when they've been leading the game. If they get behind, that's kind of when they've been struggling. So if we can come out fast, take control of the game early, create turnovers, and just do what we've been doing the last six games. So we've been running the ball. Sawyer's been great at protecting the ball through the air this year. 7 interceptions throughout this season. It's awesome for a quarterback. So as long as he can take care of the ball, and just I think Aranda and those guys have had these have coached these guys. It's just another game. Don't get distracted with all the noise. Do what we've been doing. Play Baylor football the way we've been playing it, and things will fall into place. And so I'm excited to see how our guys come out. I mean, by this time of the bowl game, I mean, when you get here, they've been here since Thursday. So this time of they're ready to. I'm sure they're ready to play. They're over all the activities.
Right.
They just want to get to the game. And so I know tomorrow will be probably a little short walkthrough, maybe some film. But I know they'll be ready. So, like I said, I'm envious of these guys get to play LSU. I always wanted to do that. So hopefully they come out and ready to rock.
Coach was a little upset that they lost that Rodeo Bowl.
He did say like several times.
I mean, yeah. So I thought, okay, win the Rodeo Bowl, Baylor win the football game. But Coach is using that as motivation, isn't he?
Hey, I mean, those coaches are competitive no matter what you're doing.
Yeah, no question. And the Baylor-LSU tie is great to talk about, but when the game kicks off, it won't matter a bit. But it's not just Coach Aranda, who was the defensive coordinator when LSU had that great team, won the national championship in 2019. But it's Jeff Grigas, who's now our chief of staff. He was there.
Oh, wow, okay.
Kiva Soil-Cormier was there at LSU. Coach Caleb Collins was there at LSU, and now the linebackers coach at Baylor. Who else? Who am I forgetting? Taylor Halsey is with Baylor football. She's a grad of LSU also. And then Earl Chevalier also is our director of football player development. He was at LSU, and Ed Paris was there also. So there's all those connections, from Coach Aranda, from LSU to Baylor, and going up against them. But, man, they can fraternize after the game, right? But they want to come out on the winning side of that game. Yeah. All right, guys, thank you very much. We appreciate your time. Looking forward to it. JJ Joe, Bryce Hager. Take our final break and be back to wrap things up in just a moment.
Care has all the convenience of urgent care with all the expertise of an ER.
Yay.
There we go.
At every visit,
All right, what time we need to be out, Aaron?
58:45, so I think we'll have about a minute. Should work out.
Perfect. Thank you.
Should work out.
We got all the breaks in, I see you. Hey, is Kiva here?
Your insurance providers.
Keisha, does she need a ticket?
Urgent care has 4 convenient locations.
Do you have a ticket?
Texas, San Marcos, Temple,
Okay,
Waco,
I'll work
and
on it too.
To learn more,
Yeah, I meant to text you and ask.
www.premier.care.
But we'll work. We'll be fine.
A bank in any town USA treats everyone like, well,
For here?
anyone.
I don't have anything yet.
At
I
Central
asked
National
about
Bank,
it.
we provide Central Texans with a different kind of banking. We believe in people over processes, listening over telling, and helping our customers over helping ourselves. Come to Central National Bank and experience the difference. Bank different. Bank Central. Central National Bank. Over at the EC. Proud partner.
Okay, we got all the breaks in.
Athletics.
Jeff Haas Mazda and the Baylor Bears both know what it takes to be number one. Hard work, determination.
Yeah, about a minute 15, so I'll start.
1:15. Okay.
The dealer in Texas, Jeff Haas Mazda, is inviting all the Baylor Bear fans listening to visit us for hard-hitting deals on every new Mazda in stock, with fresh inventory hitting the ground daily. And every new Mazda comes with our Jeff Haas Advantage plan. Plus, your trade is now worth more than ever. We're buying all makes and models. Get our best cash offer in minutes. Jeff Haas Mazda on the Katy Freeway. Number 1 based on 2021 sales and stock volume and a call-free check.
It's the biggest blockbuster on the Brazos, and you don't want to miss the premiere of Baylor women's basketball at brand new Foster Pavilion for the upcoming season. The Bears provide an elite atmosphere and return to the court with head coach Nikki Collin at the helm and another Sweet 16 appearance under their belts. The Foster Pavilion lets you be closer to the action, so help us fill the Foster with green and gold by getting your women's basketball season tickets today at BaylorBears.com/tickets.
You're listening to Baylor Football on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
And back to wrap things up on our Texas Bowl preview show live from Houston to appreciate everyone that has been with us tonight. Little history between Baylor and LSU in bowl games goes back to 1963 right here in Houston. It was the Bluebonnet Bowl. That great Baylor team, Don Truell and Lawrence Elkins, both All-Americans, quarterback receiver duo beat LSU 14-7. So great memory there at the Bluebonnet Bowl in 1963. And then 1985 in the Liberty Bowl in Memphis, Cody Carlson was the quarterback, and the Bears knocked off LSU 21-7 in very cold Memphis in the Liberty Bowl. A couple of bowl matchups in the past between Baylor and LSU. Another one comes up Tuesday. We'll be on the air at 12:30, kickoff at 2:30 on Saturday here on the Baylor Sports Media Network. And we appreciate, again, you being with us for our preview show tonight. Thanks to Luke Holcomb, General Manager of the Baylor Sports Media Network. Thanks to Aaron Sexton, our network board operator. And for Bryce Hager and JJ Joe, I'm John Morris. We will talk to you Tuesday from NRG Stadium, Baylor and LSU in the Texas Bowl from here in Houston. For now, good night from downtown Houston.
All right, bud, we got it.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks, John. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, talk to you tomorrow. See you.
See you.
The Texas Bowl Preview Show, presented by Central National Bank, your leading independent bank across Central Texas. The Texas Bowl Preview Show is also brought to you by Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, championship partner of Baylor Athletics, Antone's Famous Po' Boys, deep in the heart of Texans since 1962. Magnolia Realty, official realty group of Baylor Athletics. Pop's Lemonade, the perfect blend of sweet and tart, just like Pop made it. Sip 'em Bears. And by H-E-B, official grocery partner of Baylor Athletics. Here, everything's better.
Steps inside to the 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown Bears! Josh Cameron into the end zone.
The proceeding has been a Playfly Sports presentation on the Baylor Sports Media Network.